Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Friday's market wrap up here. Top Gun Options. Shocking that I'm up this early for a Friday market wrap up, but didn't get to do the sit rep yesterday. Got stuck in Miami International Airport with a typical late afternoon thunderstorm, so our flight to Savannah was delayed. But beautiful morning up here in Beaufort, South Carolina. Getting ready for a big day ahead. Going to go check out the greatest aircraft God ever invented. Of course, the F-18, and then also check out some other piece of crap airplane called the Joint Strike Fighter, the F-35 Lightning. Going to go check one of those out as well. We got a flight in the F-18 simulator coming up, and then I guess I'm buying a lot of guys some wine coolers at the Officers Club at the end of the flight schedule this afternoon. So really looking forward to a good day with my son Matthew, and also some great American Marine aviators up here in Beaufort. So I thought I'd get, since I'm in Beaufort and there's a lot of people running around this morning before dawn chanting and waking me up, I figured I'd knock out a Friday market wrap up. Pretty good week here at Top Gun Options. We're going to talk about Amazon earnings. We're going to talk about, well, GDP is coming out here at 8:30. It's 8:03 right now, so kind of big macroeconomic data. We'll see what's going on with advanced GDP. Remember, if you don't remember, there's three types of GDP. I guess there's only one GDP, but in three reports, there's three versions: advanced, preliminary, and final. So advanced is the earliest, so obviously tends to have the most impact. So this is going to be a big deal. Earnings have been mixed at best to date, and we've seen some kind of green and brown shoots of macroeconomic data in our economy. So if we get a weak GDP print, does the Fed go bigger next week? What if we get a really on fire GDP print? Does the Fed sit on their hands? The market pulled back yesterday, mainly on fears that the Fed isn't going to go big next week, which I thank God we got long volatility this week. The VIX was up like 8% yesterday, and on Tuesday I told everybody, Tuesday and Wednesday, to get long vol because I said the Fed can only disappoint. Man, I nailed that. So hopefully everybody, I asked you Tuesday and Wednesday, have you got your vol on? And I think that was a really solid call. Hopefully you manage those trades. If they hit your profit target and you got out of them, Steve Miller said, go on, take the money and run. So really big pop in volatility yesterday on fears that the Fed isn't going to be that big. And I've warned that. Let me say this again. I think the Fed can only disappoint next week. So make sure you're ready to go. So we'll get GDP this morning, and that's going to be a big deal. Look at this. The previous quarter's GDP actually was revised down a little bit from 3.2 to 3.1. But come on. I mean, Barack Hussein Obama would have given his kingdom, the United States, for a GDP print solid, consistently above 3. They're looking for, this is a big implosion. The forecast is 1.8. So if we come in better than 1.8, if there's a 2 in front of this number, the Fed can't be too unhappy with a 2 in front of this number. If this comes in line, okay. If it comes in worse, well, then maybe the Fed does have to go big next week. I don't know, man. I have I try to have a crystal ball, but my call sign's Wiz, not Wizard. So it's going to be interesting. We'll see what's going on. I'm going to be over at the Waffle House across the street when this GDP comes out, so I'll be on my phone. But let's kind of review the week. Like I said, really good week here at Top Gun Options. We're going to cover Amazon earnings. This is a steal. Folks, Amazon pulling back right here on, they expected fantastic earnings and they had great instead of fantastic, and the stock gets punished. Steal, absolute steal. You have got to be in our solo Amazon service. I made nearly $6,000 by today's close on short Amazon calls. We'll take a look at those here in a couple minutes. But our short Amazon calls, it was better to be lucky than good sometimes. We'll also cover our weekly options trade. We should see, well, let me cover that right now since I have that portfolio up. Oh, sweet. So it was looking like a loss, but now we needed above 45 pre-market. We're up to 45.36. And that's essentially at the break even of our down the bull put spread in the iron condor. So let's analyze this. As long as by market close, this thing's above 45.5, we make $3,500 on about $4,000 in risk. That's a great looking trade. So we're pre-market, we are right there. Okay, look at that. The break even in the bull put spread. Remember, in an iron condor, we have what? two break evens. There's a break even to the upside. There's a break even to the downside. So pre-market, we're looking at 45.36. So not only is it above break even, it's profitable right now. So this iron condor could, if we get inside the left upright here, above 45.5 by the close, that's $3,500 in 4.5 trading days, folks. Really, really good weekly options trade there for the week. And there's another example of, hey, don't prematurely eject, so to speak. Don't prematurely eject and bail out of something. In the world of weekly options, a day is a lifetime. A half a day is a lifetime. So make sure you're not prematurely ejecting, so to speak. We're going to cover that in our full throttle training in a couple weeks. All right, so why do I have the Drudge report up? For 2 days, it was nothing but Bob Mueller, and that thing dropped like a bad date. What an absolute embarrassment. What an embarrassment for the Democrats, embarrassment for Bob Mueller himself. I love Democrats rushing to his defense now. Oh, he's 74 and leave him alone. He's a year younger than Donald Trump. You wonder about Donald Trump's mental stability? Look at Bob Mueller. The dude didn't even, he sat there looking like he's like, what's the Mueller report and who wrote it? Unbelievable. It proved that the dude was clueless. He was being driven around like a wheelbarrow by 19 angry Democrats, and the real fun's about to begin. And guess when it's all going to start coming out? What really happened right before the election? You're going to find out about dirty FBI agents, dirty director of the FBI, a dirty CIA director, Brennan, and you're going to find out that the British government and the Australian government were involved in the whole thing. I told you a year and a half ago, and now that it's kind of leaking out publicly, I'm going to confirm it. Australian and British agents, man, and whatever. What I'm getting at is one of the I came out at the beginning of the year with a acronym FIROC, FIROC. It was Fed, impeachment, recession, oil, and China. All of those things have come to pass, and now we can ditch the I. They're just going to look stupid if they try and do anything else. Start legislating, folks. Get my CSX back airborne with some infrastructure talk, please. Anyway, let's start strategically. Iran just test-fired a medium-range ballistic missile. They're still holding a British tanker. Absolute embarrassment for the once vaunted Royal Navy. And what did cream of some young guy just do? Same thing. Fired a test missile that was a solemn warning to South Korea. What happened at the beginning of the week? 2 Russian bombers, a couple Chinese bombers with some fighter aircraft in their first, quote, joint patrol, flew right through the South Korean ADIZ, Air Defense Identification Zone, scrambled F-16s. They fired nearly 300 rounds in front of the nose of those aircraft and dropped signal flares, which is the international warning for, I'm about to shoot you down if you don't get out of our airspace. This is a lot of crazy shit going on, folks. I brief you about this because one of the wisdoms you'll learn here at Top Gun Options is the market only cares when it cares, which means you'll wake up one day and one of these things accidentally went bump in the night, or somebody does something that's not calculated. You'll see the VIX up at 30 to 50 and the market down 500 to 1,000 points. That can happen, folks. This isn't going to go on forever, this type of stuff. North Korea and Iran, it's going to come to a head. Also, what's going to come to a head is China and Taiwan. They released a military blueprint earlier this week that specifically said, we have no doubt there's going to be a war between the United States, China, and Taiwan. Pay attention to these things, folks. Just don't sit here and go, hey, the futures are up. Earnings are mixed. That's great. I already briefed you on GDP. We are getting mixed earnings. We had Coke this week. We had Amazon. We had Boeing. We had all sorts of stuff. Caterpillar, big Tonka toy trucks didn't do so well, and they warned on their future outlook. So very, very interesting stuff. We obviously earlier in the week early in the day before the Mueller testimony, Bob Bard drops the big bomb on big tech monopolies. And how about the co-founder of Facebook? Completely flipped. The dude's like, nope, they need to be broken up. They're awful. They're doing evil things, and it's crazy. Zuckerberg got hit with a big fine, $5 billion, but that's the price of his island in Hawaii. Isn't it funny? That dude's like, no border walls and shit like that. The guy was putting these massive walls around his Hawaii mansion until like all the locals complained. So of course, limousine liberals, right? Do as I say, not as I do. So big tech, obviously under focus. Google had a good earnings beat, but a tale of two different stocks. So let's get into Amazon. Let me make sure I get my Amazon up here. Let me just show you. So Amazon, what do we pre-market? 1950. Okay, we were up here at like 20, 2020, 2030 or something like that. We're back down here at 1950. It is an absolute steal. If you attended the Solo Amazon brief, the free brief I did Monday, I showed you how to do synthetic stock. If you didn't get it on, absolutely get it on, folks. We're going to see 2030 here again soon. Okay, and let me show you. On the airplane yesterday, sometimes it's better to be lucky than good. What do I mean by that? I'm sitting there and my damn internet, thank you American Airlines, was intermittent at best. Check out what happened. So I was short these 2060 calls. These 2060 calls expired today. They're currently up $2,200, and obviously Amazon ain't getting up to 2060 today. That's $2,850 in profit. That is in my pocket, right? Guess what also happened? And this sucked when I landed. I was not filled on these either. For today, I also sold these. I sold today's 2,000 calls. And what are they most likely going to expire today at? $2,985. So, folks, I made nearly $6,000 this week with those two short calls. One contract each. One contract here, one contract in those. $6,000. So take a look at how my Amazon is doing. The synthetics, the overall position is only down $1,300. Isn't that incredible? So hold on, Wiz. Even though the synthetic stock's getting hammered, you brought in $6,000. Yeah, if I hadn't sold those short calls, this loss would be a hell of a lot greater. So this is awesome. This is an absolute steal with Amazon. And look at this, folks. My synthetic stock position is at what strike? I finally got filled on what? The 2010. My synthetic stock is all the way up here, and I'm only down $1,300 or something like that. That should show you the power of. Look at that. How many of you would like to make maybe $6,000 a week, or half that, $3,000 with one contract, folks? You have got to get in. We'll talk about the earnings in a second, but go get into Solo Amazon, man. Go.topgunoptions.com/solo. It's $97, $897 for a year. That's a 25% discount. Tonight at the Oscars Club, since we're getting tours and this and all sorts of cool stuff, I told my buddy Shrek, I'm like, hey man, tell all the squadrons I'm buying at the O Club. I guarantee you I'm spending more than that buying all these great Americans drinks. So help support the Marine Corps Aviator Buford Drinking Fund for tonight. Anyway, folks, $97 a month for Solo Amazon. Let's get into what happened here. Google and Amazon had different bars to clear. Amazon disappoints against what? High expectations. Well, Google had nowhere to go but up. Google sucks. It's an arm of the Chinese government. They're an awful company. They're full of limousine liberals. They are not an American company. They're awful. But here's the deal. Both are internet behemoths, right? But listen to this. Both companies reported accelerating growth. Amazon's second quarter jumped at their revenue, folks, 20%. Listen to me. If you own a company, you know that a 20% jump in revenue year over year is insane. They beat Wall Street's estimates, and they exceeded the 16% growth reported in the first quarter. So their earnings were great, folks. What did Wall Street want? Freaking fantastic. Okay, now here's where they differ. The bottom lines looked a little bit different, right? Alphabet, no, I'm never going to call it Alphabet, it's Google. The income jumped 13%, but look at this. Amazon's operating income rose only 3%. Okay, but here's the deal. Amazon, listen to me, folks. This is why this is a steal down here. Amazon had previously broadcast plans to do what? Invest more in costly ventures, like one-day shipping and stuff like that. Does everybody understand that? This in the free brief on Monday, you can watch the replay on the Top Gun Options page. What did I tell you? He doesn't want to make money, folks. If you don't understand what Amazon's doing here, you're clueless. The dude doesn't want to ever give back a dividend, and he never wants to show a penny in profit. Why? He wants to take that penny and do something with it. Put 3,200 satellites in low Earth orbit so he can give internet to everybody in the world. He wants to get into real estate. He's in space. He wants the defense contract. He's, in healthcare. He's in food. He's in everything. Okay, so there's a different thing here. Despite Amazon's earlier slip, it remains a growth machine on track to supplant Apple as the world's largest tech company. I disagree with that. By annual revenue. It's not a tech company, it's a services company. So Amazon has long outpaced Google in finding new growth drivers to augment an already sizable core business, right? That is reflected primarily in the company's respective cloud computing operations and Amazon's AWS service, right? Amazon Web Services industry leader with annual revenue past the 30 billion mark. That's larger than most of the tech companies on the S&P 500's group. So this is nuts, folks. If you look at Amazon earnings and go, "Wow, they were awful," you have no idea what you're doing. Go put your money in a Folgers can and put it in the yard. This is a steal. It is an absolute steal. Amazon earnings were a letdown, but Wall Street analysts are still telling clients to buy it. Duh. It's insane. So, and obviously earnings are rearward looking. But listen to me. I always brief you guys on the Wall Street isms, right? If you can't hit the ball over the net, what do? You lower the net. What have analysts done to Amazon? It's not a net, it's a fence. So they raise the fence so high, and Apple kind of hits the ball into the top part of the Amazon hits the ball into the top part of the net or fence, and people go, "Oh, geez." So earnings going from smoking on fire to lightly on flames is bad. No, this is stupid. Absolutely nuts, folks. It is a absolute steal down here. You must get into that synthetic stock. It's a no-brainer. And I'm going to show you how you can profit even though this stock is going down, right? 1947.50 pre-market hours. I'm going to collect about nearly $6,000 in short call income, which obviously negates any loss here in this synthetic stock. That's how you do it, folks. So we could potentially make money in Amazon no matter which direction it's going, up, down, or sideways. So that's what we do here at Top Gun Options and in our solo Amazon service. So make sure you grab your slot, man. Go.topgunoptions.com/solo. And we have some good-looking volatility trades. Okay, let's do this. Let's see if I can bring up our primary portfolio. Let me log off here and go over to primary 3800. Let's just take a quick look at primary because we have some volatility trades on, folks. I'm telling you, man, the Fed can only let everybody down next week. They can't, and if they shock, right? If they shock to the other direction, like a half a point cut or something like that, the market might initially freak out like, "Hey, wait a minute, why are they?" Well, they must be seeing something worse than we're seeing. Okay, so be very, very careful with the Fed meeting. Also, we covered it earlier in the week that Mnuchin, Lighthizer, these guys are getting on an airplane and heading over to Shanghai or wherever it is, Beijing, next week for potential talks. We got to take a look at what FXI is up to right now as well, because we have some FXI positions. Primary live trade brief portfolio is smoking hot, folks. Look at this month to date. We're up $9,400 in our primary portfolio. Bear call spread on EWZ is looking pretty good. This is for August 2nd. Okay, so that one's looking pretty good. That's up 660. Oh, cool. The FXI Iron Condor for today. Look at that, folks. Up $1,300. I think this is going to go right through the uprights as well. Look at that. It was a tight Iron Condor. Man, so risking $4,500 to make $3,000. Hopefully the EWZ Iron Condor, the weekly, goes through the uprights for, what was it, $3,800. Another potential $3,000 here with our FXI Iron Condor for today. Man, we are doing fantastic. These short calls on Visa, I got to close today, but look at this. Look at our Visa position, folks. It's up $4,800 in under a month, our synthetic stock position. Now, the VXX spread, this is a burner trade. This one's underwater right now. I don't care, right? I don't care. It's a burner trade. This is our current price of VXX. And so here's what I did. This burner trade earlier in the week, I put on a bull put spread, the 22. You know what? Let me break these apart. So I put on a bull put spread on VXX out to August 2nd, next Friday, and I just have some standalone short calls. This is why I call it a burner trade, is because I think between now and next Friday, something's going to happen to freak the market out. I think it's a Fed letdown or a China talk letdown, and this thing is going to see max profit. Okay, this is a trade and a hedge. It's called a tredge. So I got both these things working. This is kind of the only red in the portfolio, and I'm fine with that. When everything else, you should have a Christmas tree portfolio, folks. What do I mean by that? When everything else is blindingly green, you should have a red. When all these things are red, that should be a green. That's how you trade, folks, right? You always have an ejection seat. So our ejection seat in the primary portfolio is this burner trade, and I'm happy about that. I'm fine. But like I said, the performance month to date is outstanding in the primary portfolio, 9,400 bucks. Really, really happy with that. Okay, and look at that. I mean, our volatility positions, VIX calls and VXX spreads are green for the year, and the burner trade is red right now. But I fully expect that. Okay, but between now and next Friday, something's going to happen to freak this market out. Let's take a look at the VIX real quick before I go. I got to go iron my khaki pants and my polo shirt. Haven't done that in years. Make sure I look sharp today. So hold on, 6 months, 3 months. There you go. So there's the VIX. Freak out. No, freak out's gone. Freak out. Freak out's gone. Freak out. Freak out's gone. Freak out's gone forever. Nope. Between now and next Friday, volatility is going to pop. I think the Fed lets us down or something happens with China news. Okay. All right, man. I got to run. Heading over to Waffle House, grabbing my son. We're actually going to go down to the Paris Island Marine Museum first, and then I think we have our simulator flight at 11. Hornet tour of VMFA 115, the Silver Eagles after that, and then wrapping up the day with the Joint Strike Fighter. Not too many people get to go hang out in the Joint Strike Fighter, see the cockpit, and do cool stuff. So very, very thankful for the Marines and Shrek, who's been. I went through Top Gun with Shrek, and now he's a Top Gun Options member. So thanks for everything there, Colonel. Quick reminder: I'm going to teach you how to dogfight Amazon. I'm going to teach you on Monday how you have absolutely got to get long Amazon. This stock is a $3,000 stock in a year. It's insane that the market's going to punish. They're going to punish Amazon for a day or two, and then the thing's getting back on its horse on the way to $3,000. Period. Take that to the bank. Google sucks. All right, folks, have a great rest of your day. Have a great weekend. I'll be back with Monday's Market Outlook, and then I'll see also folks at 1 o'clock on Monday for weekly options. And then after that, we take a break and then get into our solo Amazon brief Monday at 3 o'clock. Go.topgunoptions.com/solo. Have a great rest of your day. Fights on. I'll see you on Monday.